What's going on, boys? No Gates here. Welcome back to another video. Now, in today's video, we're going to go over the tactics and instructions for the 4-2-3-1, 3-5-2, 4-4-2, and 3-1-4-2. Just in case you're new here, we have a formation to close the game out, a formation to go all out attacking, and you have one formation to press, and one formation to use the entire game. The idea is you can change with just the left hand or the D-pad, left and right on the D-pad, and quickly change in game to adapt to the game situation. Now, we come close to very much finalizing the tactics, I would say, towards this year. A few things have changed. I mean, a lot of people are not playing weekend leagues. They're just fed up. Some people are. But for those of you that may be on a borderline or gold and you're really trying to get that elite, I understand why you're still playing on. First of all, for the balanced tactics with everything on one, this is just the anti-kickoff tactics. So we don't play this in game. This is just a tactics to prevent kickoff. So we have one of our CDMs, or one of our center mids on drop between defenders. And all this formation is everyone's going to come back in defense. That way, if our opponent takes off first, or should I say kicks off first, we just have an anti-defensive setup. That way, if we change to, for example, don't forget, when you change to one of these formations, it does take about a minute or so to change in game, or you have to wait for the ball to go out of play. So that's why you have the anti-kickoff formation, and that way you can't get done on the kickoff as easily. We know one thing, kickoff is a big thing. So when the game starts, I'll change to one of these four formations. Now, normally, I would go straight into the 3-5-2 because that is the formation I use, because it's the most attacking formation from my standard. As I've always said, the 3-5-2 is like a 4-4-2, and you know it's like a 4-4-2 with a cam. You know, it's like a 4-2-3-1 if you think about it. 4-2-3-1 with an extra striker, and it has a 4-1-2-1-2 in the middle, but with the wingers. So that's everything you want with the formation, in my opinion. It's the best attacking formation, and I still think it's superior over the 5-3-2. Balanced 4-5. I've been experimenting with pressure every touch. I will be honest, don't use it with three defenders. You're probably going to get killed in behind. Long ball, and we got 4 and 5 and 4. We reduced the width down to 1. Why? It's because people are playing so much overload the ball, so everyone is dropping back. You need to have, you know, the wing players as wide as possible if you need to create space, but you want everyone else to be a bit more centrally down the middle. So the idea is use hug the sidelines, get the left mid and right mid wide, but at least you got the guys in the middle that are close together. If you're playing overload the ball side, you need more players cramped together. Although you can argue to be wider, it's better. But if you want to go down the middle, you need the players to be closer together against overload the ball side. Players in the box on 4, so we can recycle the ball, and 1-1. These are the instructions. I'm just gonna. You can pause this, so that way you can copy these as you want to. And we have one of the centre mids. We have changed them to get forward, a new addition this week, just to make it a bit more attacking. Do try that out, you might like it. So you got the most attacking player on that end. Left mid, right mid, as usual, on both on comeback and defense, get in behind, get into the box, and conservative in regards to that. And the middle cam, everyone on stay forward, balance. Now, one thing we've also changed is we've got rid of stay central. Yes, very much a rare addition. This reason why I've got rid of it is because in delay, sometimes the players, they're not in the best place and they always stay central. And sometimes you do an L1 trigger, you kind of want them to go forward. But what I found is with overload ball side, sometimes if De La Feu comes in and he takes Ronaldo's spot, I don't mind Ronaldo going off to the side. If you don't like that, you can put him on stay central. I've also removed getting behind. Why? It's because I want the ball to go to the player's feet. We know delay is the worst thing. Maybe bad gameplay and everything else is one thing. Maybe everyone parking the bus is one thing, but we know bad gameplay and delay, more importantly above everything, is the most. Delay, when you make a pass, the guy just running in behind, it forces a through ball. The game keeps forcing a through ball when I have getting behind on. That's something that I've realized, that and long ball. So if you want to, you can get rid of getting behind on both these strikers and both on stay forward. Don't forget, if you are a bit more weaker defensively, you can put one on stay back while attacking. I put both of them on stay forward, and then if you find that through ball thing being a bit too much, put it on balanced. I have found that because the game somehow reads how the player is making a run, that's why it realigns the pass. I don't know, it's a stupid system. I'll probably speak to EA about this and see if they can somehow find a feasible solution. Then we have the defensive formation. The ultra defensive formation, the one to close the game out. We're not going drop back one depth, one width. What kind of person do you think I am? You think I'm going to teach you how to abuse mechanics? You're watching the wrong YouTuber here. Balanced 4-3. We want to be close, compact, narrow, but not be too defensive. Don't forget, we've got balance 4-4. We still want this to be an attacking formation. So let's say, for example, if our opponent is like, this guy is playing a 3-5-2, we need to go to a system that's got 4 strikers, 4 players on stay forward. You need a system to counter that. So the 4-2-3 is there, and that way you've got a system to counter. You can put long ball on the offensive style if you want to, and everyone is on comeback and defense. The striker stays after a comeback and defense and get it behind is the only get it behind option. 3 cams on comeback and defense. The Lamb and the Ram are both on conservative now, just because we find the left back and right backs are overloading as much. And don't forget, now everyone's got team of season left back and right backs that can shoot, which is quite dangerous. Both CDMs cut passing lane, stay back while attacking, and cover center. And the left back and right back stay back while attacking, conservative insertions, and overlap. Do not forget, if you haven't watched, if you're not part of my Patreon series, don't forget I got videos on how to defend on my Patreon series. So don't forget patreon.com/nilguys. Link is down below in the description. But going back into the game, so you're wondering why Crespo is there. Don't worry, he can play that role very well for me. Left back and right back on stay back while attacking, conservative, overlap. Left mid, right mid on comeback and defense, and then we have the 2 centre mids on stay back while attacking, and stand edge of the box for the most defensive one. And for the most attacking one, if you are comfortable with playing attacking with a 4-4-2, you can leave them on balance. Now, you can use the 4-4-2 second variation or the flat. The second variation is, I would say, more better defensively. You have the cut passing lane instruction, which is the most important thing in any defensive player in the midfield. Trust me, it's the most important thing. But you don't have this with a 4-4-2 flat. It's a bit more aggressive, a bit more attacking. But I like it because I can press. Now, I've got both strikers on stay forward. I've dashed aggressive on because this is the formation I'll be using. Let's say, I don't know. If I am, let's say, in a game, I am 1-0 down, maybe 2-0 down. Let's say I can't break through with a 3-5-2, but I don't want to go to ultra attacking. It's not do or die, but I need to start pressing. So this is my pressing tactic. My opponent is holding the ball. He is winning 2-1, or he or she's winning 2-1, 2-0. He's above and beyond, and I can't get back into the game. He's holding the ball. Then I would change this defensive tactic. It's an attacking tactic, which is defensive, but attack go forward and allow me to press in a defensive shape, as well as meant to say. Pressure on every touch is what we put on. You can always use constant pressure if you want to, but you want to be a bit conservative going in. In my opinion, use pressure on heavy touch, and then in the game, use the D-pad tactic, team press. That way you can press when you need to. Does that make sense? So you use team press alongside this tactic. So when you use team press, it will basically override pressure on every touch, and your players would press. So that way it gives you complete and utter control. And the best of this is if you use pressure on every touch. Now, good players will use this because they know what they're doing. If you're below, I would say, gold 3, you have to be, oh no, I'll be honest, gold 1. You have to be extremely careful because pressure every touch means they will always press every single time. Now, any smart guy will know to do an L1 trigger, send that player going forward and doing a through ball in behind either way. You are going to get killed on the counter against a good player. If someone's on the same level as you, maybe you get away with it, but it's better to use pressure on every touch. This is a more conservative approach. It's basically balanced. What pressure on every touch is, to make this very easy, it basically just means balanced. Except for if your opponent takes a heavy touch or the AI deems it's a very good chance for you to win the ball, then your entire team will press. But it's only in situations where, you know, generally speaking, it's a loose ball or difficult pass, or I would say a heavy touch. And then that's probably the best way of explaining it. And then your team will press. But they press very sporadically. Your opponent can't predict it, if that makes sense. Very high width, because obviously we want to be very wide defensively to press as far as we can if my opponent's got the ball. Very high 7 depth, auto offside. You can say, I don't call it auto offside, but at the high line, keeping the high line and being aggressive as possible. Long ball, because long ball is so important in the 4-4-2 on players get forward as soon as you win the ball back. Width on 4 and players in the box. So width on 5, players in the box on 4. We turn this down just by 1. Just I think the 4-4-2 sometimes is a bit too wide if I'm playing against an overload the ball side. I can always use hug the sidelines if I want to. And don't forget, comeback and defense, left mid, right mid. So you still defend in the 4-4-2, and you have these guys on aggressive interceptions because they don't do anything anyway. So they just stand there. And then let's say you're in a game. Okay, now you started the game. Maybe you're 1-0 ahead, 2-0 ahead. Then you probably go down to the 4-2-3-1, a more conservative, a more safer option with a back 4, one where you control the game. But let's say you're on a 3-5-2 and it's 0-0, and let's say, for example, you're not breaking through, you might decide to stay in a 3-5-2. But let's say, for example, 60 minutes, you go 1-0 down. Now your opponent has changed to a 4-2-3-1. He's now parking the bus. Now he's passing the ball from left back to full back, full back to full back, left back to right back, left mid, right mid. You know what I'm talking about, the usual. Then you will go to the 4-4-2, a pressing approach, but not ultra aggressive. You don't want to go from 1-0 down to 2-0 down, because that is game over, of course. So the idea is you want to press attack. This is kind of like the in the middle between ultra attacking and your normal attacking tactic. Then let's say, for example, it's 70 minutes. You go 2-0 down, a corner, you need to get back into the game, you got no choice. Then you go to the blitz formation. So you go to the all-out attack, all is nothing, let's go for it. Constant pressure, forward out. The reason why we're going with a narrow width is because the team is quite wide when you go in the defensive shape. But just trust me, it's worth doing this because that way you start from a very narrow perspective and you build up in the same way. It's just a bit easier, just trust me. Depth, we've gone on 7, not 10. Constant pressure, of course, we're pressing the entire time. No need to use that team press tactic. Fast build up play, 1 width. Very, very narrow. And then we have 7 players in the box. Why 1 width? So we attack in a spear-like formation. That's the idea, to break his overload the ball side in the middle of the pitch. If you want to use hug the sidelines, these players will go wide and it ends up becoming a wide formation. Hence why the 1 width is there. So the 1 width is basically saying, okay, I want the game to play that formation in a narrow formation, but if I want to use hug the sidelines, it changes to a wide formation. So you have that transformation as you want to on the absolute fly. Then we go over to the instructions. Stay central, get in behind, stay forward for both my strikers. These are your center mids. Yeah, these are meant to be your center mids. I don't know why they're up there. They should be over here, to be honest. I mean, they should be on the inside and these guys should be on out there. But yeah, these are your center mids. You have them on get forwards, cover centers. That way, when you're defending, you defend in 2 banks of 3. But when you get the ball, they end up going forward. They end up acting as basically inverted wingers, will be the best way of describing these guys when you go forward. Stay forward on both of these guys. The most important thing is have the extra striker D-pad instruction. In fact, I'll activate all the D-pad tactics. I got a video for every single one of these formations on my channel. So if you're wondering about how each formation works, I've got graphical and animation showing you how it all works as well. So that is how that goes. And then the left center mid and right center mid, which are actually the wingers, funnily enough. The winger instruction are stay forward, cut inside, get in behind, get into the box. And the central center mid is on cut passing lane, stay back, and cover center. Why? You need to have 1 guy back. If you are up against, let's say, a good player, overload the ball, so you're attacking your speared formation. You got your back 3 naked, no one else next to them, and then you have your center mid. He needs to be a fast guy that can bring the ball from the fence all the way to the attack. There might be a chance when your opponent's parking a bus so hard, you got to pass the ball back to someone. You need someone outside the box to pass the ball back to. You can't just go ultra attacking. If you want to, you can always trigger a left center back and right center back forward to even create that overload. I do that as well sometimes. But that is the ultra attacking formation. So that is basically how it lays out. So you start the game and kick off. Let's say my opponent is kicking off. I'll change to a formation, let's say 3-5-2. You know, I'll kind of let the game go on. The formation will change from the and kickoff one to the 3-5-2. If I'm winning, I go back down. If I'm losing, I go 1 up. If I'm losing still, then I go up again. If I end up winning at that point, I go all the way down. So the idea is, this is if you're losing at the absolute worst, and this is if you're winning at the absolute best. So let's say this is you're 10-0 ahead. This is if you're losing 3-0. So you have those extremes, and then you have the middle ground. But anyway, guys, thank you very much for watching. Take it easy, and I'll catch you next time. Peace out.